are emerging from numerous eyewitness accounts that Antifa was behind the acts of violence at the Capitol on Wednesday. One America's Pearson Sharp has more.
While the mainstream media tries to pin the chaos in the Capitol on January 6 on President Trump's supporters, growing evidence points in another direction. These are the scenes at the Capitol on Wednesday when crowds gathered peacefully to protest in support of President Trump. However, the media has fixated on a small number of protesters who acted independently to vandalize the Capitol building, breaking windows and instigating isolated bursts of violence. Yet these bad actors did not represent the rest of the Trump supporters, who can even be heard in this video booing and demanding that the person stop breaking the windows and even calling them Antifa and telling them to go away. The video supports claims from Alabama Representative Mo Brooks, who called on his Twitter followers not to rush to judgment about who was behind the attacks on the Capitol. Brooks said he had information pointing to Antifa being responsible for smashing windows and breaking into the Capitol, explaining that members were using clever mob control tactics. The congressman said he was informed ahead of time that Antifa was planning on infiltrating the protest and dressing up to impersonate Trump supporters. There are also multiple unconfirmed reports that members of Antifa were brought in by buses with the goal of disrupting the Trump rally. A former FBI agent even said he witnessed at least one busload full of Antifa members being deployed on the Capitol grounds. There are also reports that John Sullivan, a radical left-wing activist, BLM member, and insurgency organizer, took part in the attack on the Capitol and was even interviewed by CNN following the event. Sullivan threatened to forcibly remove President Trump from office back in August. Florida Representative Matt Gaetz made similar comments and pointed to the fact that President Trump repeatedly called on his supporters to remain peaceful and not engage in violent activity. In fact, this is the third major pro-Trump rally in Washington since the election, and none of them involved any violence until Wednesday, something which can't be said of Antifa. Antifa terrorists have repeatedly crashed pro-Trump rallies, including one in November when they attacked innocent bystanders, including assaulting a family with children. At another event, hundreds of Antifa fascists descended on conservatives at a free speech rally, attacking and even punching one of the organizers' teeth out. Polls show a majority of Republicans pin the blame for Wednesday's attacks on Joe Biden, with 52% of those polled saying Biden was the biggest culprit and not President Trump. Which stands to reason, because after months of ignoring violent attacks on innocent Americans and even claiming Antifa doesn't exist, Joe Biden has come out and condemned Trump supporters as domestic terrorists. Pearson Sharp, One American News.
That a bitch.
And Trump